Hey, Dad. So I think I figured out a way to show you some of these pictures that I was taking of all this adventures in crypto mining. Let's just take a look. Might be educational, fun. Maybe somebody will learn something at all the bumbling I've been doing. So so to catch you up on what's going on, we're this is underneath my wooden entertainment center. I had just upgraded my computer in the office to all the newest stuff, and this is the stuff I have left over. This is my old video card, or I'm going to call it a GPU or a graphical processing unit. You know, referring to these a lot because this is mostly the cause of all the revenue and drama. But so I'm powering just the motherboard, the processor, and the video card. It's all hooked up to a power supply back here, and I'm just letting it run a simple mining program that I still am trying to figure out exactly what's going on, but it's running. I have a little fan that I found from some spare parts that I had rigged to go on top of the video card to power this heat sink because it wasn't the fan that was on it like broke. So I'm desperately trying to heal it and keep it alive. Uh, yeah, so this letter opener is doing its job with the paper clips. But at some point I found, an old Mac Pro from, I don't know, 2000s. This thing was a monster. And I just kept it because I didn't know what to do with it. I loved the way it looks. It was designed super neat. Um, I just kind of kept it, and I've been moving around with it for years. And finally, I'm like, all right, well, let's see if I can cannibalize this. See if I can get some fans out of this. Keep the video card alive a little longer. And I had no idea, but this thing would go on to become like the apex predator that passes away and all the lower uh, animals are circle of lifing it. Uh, but anyways, yeah, I got two fans out of it. These are system fans that are usually put around a case in strategic areas to maximize the flow of air and also the exhaustion of air. You want room temp in, warm air out. And on the motherboard itself, it's kind of I'd say a standard or universal sort of wire that carries over from, various system manufacturers and stuff like that. So these had no problem just being plugged in and they were working. And around this time also, I'm mining, with all the mobile phones that we have left over from, uh, diabetes, phones that, they're the diabetes, glucose and, um, insulin delivery and all that. Those phones they would no longer support older hardware, and that happens more quick. It's harder to stay current with diabetes tech than, I don't know, politics. But anyways, I noticed that this fan had like a draft of air that would come off of it if I put my hand on top. So I put a phone on top of it, and it helped cool it down. And I was able to power the phone from the motherboard. So we're building an ecosystem here. Um, this is just showing I put I put the system fan on the other side of the PC fan, or I'm sorry, the CPU fan. The main idea is that it blows air onto this radiator, and it dispels all the heat coming off of the CPU down at the bottom. And if you put a fan going this way, it'll help move the air, so you're funneling along. Anyways, I'm also learning a lot about air, and stuff like this doesn't do anything. Yeah, it's actually both fans from here, and I tried putting a heat sink that was from something else. I don't even remember. I tried putting some thermal paste, which is what you usually, it's this stuff that you see in between the copper and the the chip. So I don't even have it on the right way, and I'm just like, hey, what if air does like a weird, goes in this way and, I don't know, shoots out that way? Nothing was happening. It's still overheating because it's in an entertainment center. There's no exhaust. There's a glass door right here when I close it. I would just crack it, but I left it open a little bit because, just get some air in it. But this old busted power supply was so loud. Anyways. So now this is the art closet. Because now I don't know. I'm obsessed with the fact that now I have a second computer hanging on by dear life. And I don't know, I'm just messing with it. So I found this little spot in the art room, moved some boxes around. I had this monitor's from 2006, I think. It's been the storage for a little bit. So I brought that out, an old keyboard, and, I got it working out here. Like, oh, this is much more comfortable. I can just kind of have a little standing area. I don't have to try to use a 70-inch TV on the entertainment center to do stuff. Anyways, so something you notice is I'm buying what's called a riser. And it's a way to trick the motherboard to think that it has the video card or the GPU attached to it. It thinks all this is down here. As well it should. It has no business being outside the area. But I'm like, hey, I can get 2 GPUs, and I have this whole rack here in the closet where I can hang them up, and these hangers are doing a really good job about holding them. I'm like, I had no worries about it. Like, this setup's going to work. And I'm starting to see the distances about like how high I can get these things. And I'll go on a quick tangent. But why I have multiple of these is because I was watching some YouTubers, and they're talking about this. Well, actually, okay. So I was looking for ways to figure out what can I do with this brand new video card while I'm not editing photos and stuff. How can I make money with it? And that's where I learned about Salad, which is the AI distributed computing rental company that will, whatever. I'll go into it later. But the YouTuber was talking about how this particular model is like the base entry to get in. This is what's called an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060, and it's specifically the version with 12 gigabytes of memory, because that memory is it's like more than you would usually have in a video card at this price range, and it's because the video is used, the memory is utilized a lot by the AI computing. This kind of gives you an edge over cards that might even cost a little more. So I went on eBay and I bought 6 of them from 6 different people. No bulk deal. Just I looked it up and I was like, all right, these things are going for roughly $220. My eBay strategy is probably the least effective, but regardless of what the bid is, I say I'm not going to pay more than $200 for this, and I bid and forget it until I win it. And that's my usual strategy, and I did that with I don't know, about 15 to 20 bids, and I won 6 of them. Which is oddly exactly the number that I have now. I had to take some back. Some weren't working. Whatever. But anyways, the whole thing that is tragic about this is I took it upon myself to think, well, if I can get more of these video cards that will give me passive income, and I know about crypto mining, like a tiny, basically I know it's a thing. I don't know anything. So that's where I buy 6 of these, and I'm looking up crypto mining supplies, and I can just load this one old PC motherboard combo that I'm not using anymore, and I can have 6 salad rigs. I don't even need 6 computers. I'm working the system like no one could have ever thought to do. Until I run salad, and it is like it recognizes all the video cards. It does not like any of them. It says there's something. We don't know what's going on here, but it's not performing the way it should. And I get it. I'm not sure what's going on under the hood, but it knows something's weird. It knows your video card's floating on a hanger. It's not attached. You are not a good person to run our service. So I'm like, okay, crap. All right. I got 6 video cards now. What do I do? Well, I don't want to buy 6 computers. I guess I'm pivoting into crypto. So just looking around some old boxes and stuff, and I was looking for, I don't know, some kind of cable, and I found this old motherboard and CPU, and I had some RAM. This was the computer I got before this one. Or not the computer, it was my office computer. So this is, one generation away from being, well, maybe not even relevant at the time. It is a super old Intel computer. It managed to have 32 gigs of RAM because I always like having a huge amount when I'm working with a lot of Photoshop files. But this is all the wrong generation of RAM, because there's like different standards occur in hardware. At some point, the one generation becomes incompatible. Well, at some point, the virtualization technology that Salad is using needs the RAM to have a certain requirement to it. Not just a certain amount, but it has to be of a pedigree. Well, this didn't even cut it for that. So basically, I'm like, what can I do with this old computer? Picked up a cheap power supply, and I put it on these little wooden and rubber stamps that I found in the art room. They're perfect for not shorting anything out. It's got a little rubber, wood. This can't hurt anything. Which, by the way, the screwdriver is how I'm turning on the motherboard. There's one of these pins. If you touch 2 of them just right, it'll turn on. So that's a fun trick. But so I got this old thing. I can't do Salad with it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just hook up one of the video cards, and I'll start mining crypto with it. All right. So I so I'm trying different configurations because I went on to call this thing Red Eye because it had like a little red eagle on one of the on a heat sink, and it's like whatever. I need to distinguish from these things on my network. All right, so this thing is mining crypto with 3 video cards. I have them hooked onto the board here. There's a little riser here, and it's one of the little slots here, and then this one's on the board. And these are all being powered by the power supply, which is uh, what I would find out later is truly incredible. Um, Lorelei had this. This was when Lorelei got COVID, and she was basically stuck in her room. Uh, so I brought up the yeah. So this is what I had. This is what had brought into the art room at first, and was crypto mining with sort of. But the video card I got for mining and this my old CPU motherboard, it turned out to be a really good one for this purpose. It's called a 39 thousand X, the AMD, and it's like it's still like for the money, it's really good. Anyway, so I set this up in her room, and so she was able to have the whole little, she was able to all this and play games on her computer and all that instead of her tablet. So back at the art room, what did I do? I think I'm just, oh yeah. So I read about these power supplies, and like these are, uh, these are typical. This is what you would find in any computer, any hardware. You open it up, it's just a normal power supply. This is called a server power supply or an HP one. And for the amount of power that you can get out of it, the power per dollar is, I don't think you can beat it right now. It has this breakout board that you can power the riser that contains the circuits that connects to the motherboard that makes it think it's on it, and it also powers the GPU itself. Yeah, so I'm like, and this offloads all the stress from here, so it can run better and whatever. So I'm just, hey, cool, this setup's working. I'm not I'm not sure what happened between here and here. I remember there's like I was running out of space or something, or I added a video card. I'm not sure, but I'm just trying around different stuff. I think I have a heat sink on the back of a video card. Uh, just seeing if that would do anything. It didn't really seem to. Oh, if you want to extend the range of your Wi-Fi antenna, go in a closet. I'm playing around with a USB fan to blow more air on it. Just another view of my slow descent into madness. What's going on here? Okay, so yeah, so you'll notice that there's 3 computers here. Um, or not 3 computers. There's a third. motherboard and processor happening. I'm just curious. What day is this? Okay, so this has been less than a month. All right, so I upgraded a computer. I found a computer. Now there's another one. I think at this point, I definitely wanted another one because I had I wanted to try what a mid-range CPU would do for CPU mining. Because there's coins that you can mine with your CPU, and there's ones with GPUs or something you can do with both. But anyway, so I'm venturing out, and I'm trying different things, and in this mid-range one is getting me pretty good results. But the goal for it was to be another salad machine. I'm trying to find the optimal amount of RAM, processor, and I know my video card. I'm not sure about this. I have an idea. So I'm starting at the lower in range with what's called a Ryzen 5 7900,000 I don't know. I'll look at some numbers later. But here's the whole reason why I'm in the art room, and I forgot to tell you. As you know, our house is kind of old, and there's so many electrical connections that are like all crowded along the circuits on the basement, and because it was renovated later, and it's all tying into the circuit box, and we've overloaded stuff like for seemingly no reason. Anyways, so the reason I'm here is because I'm on a plug that has an extension cable going into another room that's powering the deep freeze and the spare fridge. Not to sound bouge, but yeah, we got two fridges. But so I'm on the spare outlet on that one, the spare plug, and I should be okay powering all this stuff. And then one day I was poking around the laundry room looking for something, and I found that the dryer outlet was unused. We have a gas dryer, and I'm looking up the specs on what this plug is, and because I just got one of these plugs put in the garage for my EV. And I'm aware that this is this can do lots of power. And so, I found this plug on Amazon that will let you plug right into it, and you can have a normal outlet. And each one of these, I'd have to look it up, but I think each one of these plugs is good for like 2,000 or 3,000, or maybe it was the split in half, and each side is 2,000 or 3,000. I don't know. But the point is, now I can move everything in here. I'm more confident that I'm getting good power. I'm not on the same line as the washer or the dryer, so whenever those are kicking on and off, it's not gonna make a huge power surge or something. I'm not quite sure how those things work either, but now that I'm at kind of a desk area, I'm like, yeah, I can, let me make this, kind of nice. The monitor was a little low, so the Mac Pro computer, that I'd been cannibalizing out of, I'm like, this is like just the right height. Yes, you will go here. Now I got this set up. I got the power supply. There's some kind of wooden bowl that I found in the art room that seems like a poor conductor of electricity. So I put Red Eye, the motherboard, on that, and it's powering the 3 GPUs, and I got my power supply, my server power supply over here. And yeah, we're looking good. I guess I could have showed you this view. This looks a lot cleaner. Hey, there's our video cards. And the reason why I have them upside down or on their fans is because this shelf I found and this stand underneath it is actually a laptop stand designed to fit over a DJ mixer. So you can put your laptop on it and be at just the right height above the mixer to do work. So I put this shelf on it, and I was like, hot air rises, and these things are really hot. Like, they're putting in a lot of work. So I'm just thinking, I'm using the ambient temperature of the basement to the fullest extent. And got everything moved in here. Let's see. Got the newer computer I bought. Got a graphic card working on there. Got these three. Still mining with the phones. They're finding their place in the world. The mining with phones, these things get very hot. And let's see what else we got going on. Playing around with, I don't know. These things get so hot. Just it is fun. So I found this USB phone underneath Nicole's desk, and I had the phones in this little slotted rack, and I'll try to show you more of that later. But anyways, the phones I put a piece of cloth over the phone because I'm like, I want all this air to just blow through here and make the phones not melt so much. I'm just obsessed with air right now because everything is so hot, loud. So bring in a box fan. That seems to be doing pretty good. Things are they're not like running any cooler, but they're not, I don't know, they're not getting as many errors. Things are looking better. Oh yeah, this is when I experimented with putting some of the RAM that I pulled out of the Mac Pro. I'm propping up the graphic cards so that they'll be in a more direct line to receive air from the fan. Orienting everything that way, and I changed the orientation of the phones to be to make sense with the phone. I mean the fan, and not some stupid piece of cloth over a USB fan. Like, whoa, whatever. And I pulled this metal piece out of my office computer because I had this other little experiment going on, and I put it on top of the CPU cooler. And this guy was running real hot, so I put him closest to the fan, and that was working out. That was genius. All right. I watched a video on YouTube, and it was brilliant. This guy, he had a 3D printer, and he did these little experiments where he would print off. He would print out like a tube, because in the front of a computer are fans, and the fans, they bring in. How do I get this? Where's my brushes? Brushes. I'm not getting anything. Yeah, whatever. Paint's hard. So yeah, whatever. So my case is not good. I don't have a fan here. I have old hard drives that are the spinning kind. I got some little dinky fans here and here. And so I took out the metal piece here, and with duct tape and a little ingenuity, I kind of created like a channel like that YouTuber did, where he was creating like a hallway going directly from the outside to where the intake fans were on the GPU itself. And so I made these little tape passages, and the tape passages went from directly to the CPU, directly to the GPU, and it was kind of vented so that this fan would suck everything else up. And I moved the USB fans that I've been playing around with, and I taped them up here to the top, so I would have all this exhaust coming up here and out here. And the weird thing is it worked really well. It dropped the base temperature when I was mining or whatever by 5 Celsius. It's brilliant. Anyway, so that's what's going on here. Back at the ranch, what's changed? Okay, so boy, so a little bit of a spiral, I guess. Is there yeah, I think there's another computer here now that we're talking about it. The mid-range one that was, going pretty good, that's up here now. It's sitting on top of a power supply, and the top of the top of my PC case here that I took out and replaced with the USB fans. So that's sitting on top of that, and the metal thing here that's propping up the GPU is now propping up the whole motherboard, and it's keeping up this new 3070 NVIDIA video card that I got and I'm trying out. So I'm like, well, if these are mining at a certain level, what I'm just curious, what's the next step? It's a huge step. It's monumental. But what's more monumental than this? So Salad, going back to that, is my number one earner right now. That's what's actually paying the money for any kind of interest in this moving forward as an operation is the regular and high dollar money I'm getting from Salad. So I get the best video card on the market. This is called a 4090. Now, there's different flavors, there's different manufacturers that will put their own spin on it, but for the most part, this was 2 car payments. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It requires a nuclear plant to turn it on. You can see there's one power cable coming to a 3060. Even the 3060 versions that have 1 fan or 2 fans or 3. This one's got 3. This has 5 different power supply things funneling into one card. This thing is monstrous, and it's years ahead of what this is. This came out, this was like, I don't know, peak pandemic, very in demand. Couldn't buy these on the shelves. And then this guy is like, I don't know, it's the king of all kings, and that's why I named this computer king. This has a new Ryzen 9 7900X CPU, which is like, it's getting up there. It's not it's not near the top, but it's close to what I upgraded with my office computer. But it's the AMD side, and I'm seeing a lot more hash rate out of that than this one. But I'm still not like super all about CPU mining. It just seems to be like something like, hey, if there's a CPU there, why aren't I using it to mine? So, because I'm obviously trying to use every circuit I can to bring me money. You can barely see it here, but something happened. All right, so now this is just kind of consolidating and showing. I got all four of them. They're all propped up, receiving all that fresh, healthy air. And I ran them. I put this heat sink on. I think this is VRAM or something on the motherboard. I'm not sure, but this thing runs hot. So I put a heat sink on there. One of the old fans from the Mac Pro. Put that on the back of the CPU just because why not? And this is what's called the girls' computer. Got this case super cheap. It had fans in it, which is great because I didn't want to mess with any of this. But it had an acrylic glass plate in front and these little tiny holes. And worst design for a case. So I took the front off and I pushed the acrylic out. Temperature immediately improved, and like, girls, look, this is a hazard. Just don't put carrots in it and try to don't help out in the kitchen by coming down to this thing and shoving food into it or fingers and you know, whatever. So now, oh gosh, so now there's been a seismic shift. So there's all six here. Things have been consolidated. I had picked up, I think it was this last one. This was the last one I got because some weren't working out. I had to take them back, whatever. But I like the number 6 because that was exactly how many risers and video cards that this power supply unit could hold. So I'm like, 6. This is the harmonious number. And I have them standing up for space issues, and I have some picture frame wire that I found in a little kit. So I got some wrapped around this power supply that I have kind of propped up against the side of the Mac Pro, and that's holding these 3 up, and they're staying pretty good. And then I have some wire running around here to the base here. The battery on the not the battery, the fan, one of 2 fans on the 3070 I picked up, that was turning off for some reason. So I called upon once again a fan from the Mac Pro to sit here and deliver more airflow. All the phones are doing good. They're actually doing good, just hanging out. I have the box fan away from this at this point because it was then that I discovered how to tune your GPU to not run so hot. As somebody who's played games, I'm aware of what overclocking is, because overclocking is when you say, hey, video card, I want you to work harder. I want you to go balls out. I want to be able to run this game because it just came out and the water reflections are making the atmospheric stuff from the sky options that are new. It's slowing everything down. I want you to give me all you got. So you overclock. But what I didn't know is that you can take a different approach to it and say, I do have a sports car, but I want to tune it like a Prius. And I want it to maintain just enough power to keep going. And I want the circuits to be going so hard, but within just the right amount of power that they can use to work. And so this is GPU tuning, not overclocking. It's not specifically, well, it kind of involves underclocking because you're telling it, I want you down here and I want you up here. So the reason why these things have been running so hot and for so long is because I didn't take the appropriate steps at the very first step of plugging these things in and getting them going, because my preconceived notion of messing with this was to get more out of it, and that has a time and place, but for the most part, efficiency is king, because I'm actually paying for this power and leveraging that power or that cost against the inherent or future value of the coin that I'm mining. So yeah, it makes sense, right? My gosh, I finally learned that, and that is about a month ago. This girl set up all nice, got a little desk, picked up some speakers, a little sub. That's on the floor now, by the way. I don't know what I was thinking. Bass should always be on the floor. Let's see. Is that it? That's where we're at now? Yeah, it's gonna be a little louder. I was recording in the office, and now I'm in the war room. Let's go. Check this out. So, yeah, here we are. So the current iteration. A big improvement happened whenever I moved the Wi-Fi router and stuff that we have. I moved it from upstairs to down here because I was about to drill a hole in the Annabelle's floor so that I could run one of these cables down here. This is the Ethernet cable that goes straight from the T-Mobile router to this little router that I have, and that's powering the machines. I was using Wi-Fi for these, but there's a lot of limitations that's boring, but let's look at some of this cool stuff, right? So the Mac Pro, I have basically a computer inside of a computer, surrounded by a computer. I love it. So this is the 3070, and it's still struggling. My fan is trying. It wants it. It wants to return to the glory that it needs to be. It needs. It's not there. So I got my little handy wooden princess sticker things. And I'm just gonna put this down for a second. Alright, so I don't know how much of that was recorded, but put the little fan back on the GPU, give him a little more air.
Poor guy. But it does tickle me that there's this super nice computer inside of, I don't know, the coolest one I've ever seen. Yeah, so it's not crazy loud in here right now. I got this new power supply. It's got tons more cable options, and it cost about 3 times as much as the other one. But it's so much quieter, and there's a quality of life here that if anyone that has experience with crypto mining is just going to laugh their face off, because most of these computers are louder than a concert, and I'm complaining about a little server one. But hey, you know what? I could hear it through the air vents. I didn't like it, so I got this one's fine. It's much quieter. It has all the power I need. Which, by the way, this is my total wattage from all 6 GPUs. This is done by a calculation. I don't have a wall unit yet to check the real watts used, but the efficiency on these are like crazy better. I got a lot of over tuning tips from smarter people on the internet. But this is what it looks like when you're mining. It's just this is the GPUs, this is the CPU. It just kind of gives you a little update on what it's doing. Right, so over here, here's the best video card in the world. It's not currently it's not being used for AI right now, but when it is, it's neat. You can tell because all this stuff lights up, kind of like those lights. Anyway, so this is a different computer. This is actually the lowest priced of the newest generation AMD Ryzen. It's like a 9600X. It's crap. I ran these numbers, and you want to look for a hash rate like this. It was in I think it was like 500 or something. It was laughable. The power on it is supposed to be incredible. Like it like, I don't know, the wind powers it basically, or just natural friction occurring. The power usage is so low, but there's no juice out of this that I could actually do anything. So this is running Salad. It's just picking up jobs. It's configured with 64 gigs of RAM, I believe, and then down here, I had one of these, and this allows you to get more GPUs onto a single slot on the motherboard, because there's only so many of these PCIe slots. All right, so this one went bad, and this was probably the most maddening thing to figure out why the computer kept restarting, and basically had to unplug the GPUs one by one, figure out why they were making this restart, only to find out that it was the thing itself that, you know, stopped working after a month or so. And so now I got a different version of it, and I'm trying to baby it. So there's 6 inputs along the top, and I'm just trying 2 right now. I'm gonna let it work on all the other ports I have available. I guess, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of at a good number of GPUs right now, but I clearly see the design error in that this is all ugly and I want it up against the wall. I'd like for all this to be turned around. And I want this on the table because that would, I don't know, just give me room for one more GPU, but a 7 GPU rig? I don't know. That seems odd because it is, and I need 8. Now I'm running out of rack, so no. I got plenty of expansion, and I got room to grow vertically. We'll see. Anyways, just quick touch on the phone mining thing. Found this power supply thing that has just a row of USBs on the bottom and these little plastic dividers that you can put up in between and just power and this was all the separation I think the phones needed to not keep running so hot.